Hello, today is Tuesday, December 22nd, and guess who's coming to dinner? Welcome to day 22 of our COVID Christmas books. I'm Pauline. I run the Scrapbook Room, a mobile and online scrapbook store, and I offer inspiration and friendship to people just like you in my private Facebook group, the Scrapbook Playroom. Let's get started. By now, I'm sure you know who's coming to dinner, or whether you're going somewhere for Christmas dinner. So first off, let's look at your local restrictions. Are you supposed to be going somewhere or having people at your home? Are you being told to celebrate only with people from your own household? And then the big question, are you listening to those recommendations? Isn't it horrible to feel shame to tell people they can't come to visit, or to feel guilty over seeing your own family members, or to hide that you're having family gatherings? What are you skipping or missing this year? What traditions have gone away? What are you missing out on? And what exactly are you doing this Christmas? And who are you missing? I bet there's at least one person or family for each of us that won't be around because of COVID. You could talk about that in your journal, or you could share their photo, whether it's an old photo you had from a previous year, a screenshot you took over FaceTime, or a photo you received in the mail. Share it in your book. Perhaps you're headed out of town, or maybe you've got company already. Share a photo of who's around. And remember, this prompt is not meant to make you feel guilty. Just share. How are you really feeling about dealing with this COVID Christmas? There's lots to journal about today, and maybe it's even journaling you'll want to keep hidden. In today's mini album, I'm not hiding anything, although I have left a spot where one could tuck some journaling. I'll flip over to the page here. So I started the page with a green photo mat. I rounded the corners, then adhered the mat to the page, leaving the edges open once again. Next, I fussy cut this tree of words from my sheet. Then I cut this tree from the cut apart sheet, and I taped from the left side to the center so that I could again allow for a photo to tuck under, like so. Then I simply cut a circle for my number and the triangle strip at the bottom, which were both scraps from the paper. When you're cutting papers for scrapbooking, keeping those small scraps for embellishing is an easy solution to fill spaces on a page. It ties in with your paper, and it can add that subtle pop your page needs. And if you dislike too many scraps around, throw them out when the page is done, but leave them around your table while you're working on that page. On this page, as I said, I left the photo mat open. A little difficult on this side, so you might have to go in from here. But I also just took this little tag I made, folded it in half, and it'll slip right in there. And perhaps I'll leave this in the book so that the recipient will see that it's available. For my own journal, I have no idea what I'll do on this page. Perhaps it'll come to me on the 22nd, since I'm filming this a couple days ahead. You'll have to wait for my final flip through to see what I do, and I'll be right back with today's tips. For today's tips, we're back to talking about journaling. And just in case you're doing some personal reflection on your page, I wanted to get back to journaling. I probably should have done this in the early days of our project, but there's just been so much to talk about. Besides, if you really wanted, I'm sure you could revisit journaling on earlier pages to do some adjustments. So today we're going to do writing practice. Whether you love or hate your own handwriting, there might be some tips to help you spice things up a bit. So like I said, we're not talking about what you're writing today, we're talking about how. So let's look at what you do to actually put the words on the page. Forget simply grabbing your pen and scribbling out the words as if you're signing your John Henry. You might be saying that's contradictory when I talked about loving that I can recognize someone from the past's handwriting. But forget that. Right now, we're just talking about making things a little more interesting. So grab a scrap of paper and do a little practice. Let's use the words Merry Christmas. First tips for writing, take your time. So let's try write it. Now try print it. Write tall. Write skinny. Writing skinny is especially good if you've got limited space. Now I want you to do something else. Let's add some dots to your letters. So let's write the word Mary. Add dots. Like so. Add dots to your letters. Add strokes to letters. Little lines underneath. I can get my M very good. Like so. And like so. And there. Next thing we could do is color enclosed parts of letters. I don't have too many here. Let's find another better word. Let's try wonderful. Not too many there either. You can take something, color in those spots. The next thing you do is draw boxes around certain words. Say it's the word Christmas every time you write it. This is also a good way to hide mistakes. Draw boxes around certain words and shade them in. Made a mistake in writing, write it on another piece of paper and tape it on top. If you don't want it to look so much like a mistake, do that in a couple of places. Who will know? Once you do the boxes, you could also shade those in so that your words are like this. So lots of different tips. If you look at the sheet here, which one's your favorite? I just wanted to show you a couple of samples. This is from a different journal, but you can see I've done a bunch of different techniques here. I made the letters coloring book style and colored them in different colors. And the rest of the page, I've filled in all the little circles. So that's one thing you can do. Here's a few more samples of writing tricks. Here I've put red on the first letters, underlined some of the words. Again, just the title in red. Here again, I've colored in the filled in letters. And the same here, added an arrow and two different colors of lettering there. In this one, I simply changed what I was writing with some marker and then some pen, just to change the variety in the style. And on this book, I've underlined some words in a different color here. I put a box around Boxing Day, some more underline, another one filled in. One other trend these days is ischemic writing. And this is a style of writing that's meant to be more artsy than legible. It basically exaggerates your long and short letters. So let's take this paper. So I would be going like, this is my name. And you can't really tell what it is. I've done it here. This is a neater version, just to put a frame on a picture. You could write all around. You could do it very neatly. You could also do it so that it's barely legible. Here's another sample of the ischemic writing. And this actually says, all I want to do is play with ischemic writing. But you can see it's kind of messy. Good way to fill a page if you're into that artsy look. And in this case, you need to write fast. Don't take your time. This one's pretty neat, but I don't mind doing it so that it's legible. I think it's a neat way to fill a space or a neat way to create a background for a page. So lots of different things you can do to play with writing. It doesn't have to be boring old penmanship over and over and over. Dress it up a little bit. See what you can do. So what do you think? Does it sound fun? Do you think writing can be fun? Go try it. And I'll see you tomorrow.